Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good morning. Hello.
We will be starting the webinar shortly, but first we would like to ask your confirmation if you could hear us well.
Please raise your hands if everything is proper, if it's working right.
I see someone is already raising hand. Perfect.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Didier. Merci, Didier.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Muhammad. We would also like to ask if you could see us in the camera clearly. Please raise your hand again if you see
Hands up
our
again.
if you see us in the camera.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Is it working well?
All right. So in 3-4 minutes, I believe that we're going to start.
Yes.
So see you then.
See you.
See you.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to everyone of you again. This is Marian. I'm the manager for Asia Pacific, and today I also have with me Shimon.
Hello, good morning. My name is Szymon Siodłowski. I'm responsible for development and sales of Scandinavian markets, Benelux countries, Italy, and United Kingdom.
Okay, so before we start, we have a lot of new attendees joining us. So I would like to ask if you could raise your hand if our audio is clear and if you can see us in the camera, just to make sure that the technical things are working. Thank you, Jose. Thank you, Igor.
Thank you, guys. We see that everything is working well.
Yeah.
We can roughly start.
In addition to that, I would like to introduce our other colleague who is joining us today from technical department, Mr. Maciek Babe. Hi,
Hello,
Maciek.
everyone. Good morning. It's nice to be here with you. Hope that we're going to have a good time together.
Yeah, we would like also to thank you for your participation from different parts of the world. It's very important right now that we stay active in our trainings with you. Although we cannot fly and have live trainings, we thank technology for being able to do these things remotely. So one of the things that we would like to mention before we start is that during the presentation, you may ask us questions. Just type in your chat box and we will receive it. After we collect all the questions, we will actually be answering them and send you also the answers in the email. In addition to that, we also have a two-part presentation later. So Shimon will be telling us more about what we will be discussing today for an overview.
I'm sorry, guys. Could you check your microphone settings, please? Because I cannot hear you. All right,
Okay.
now. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Hello again. Presentation, as I told, presentation is divided in two parts. On the first part, together with Marian, we will talk about the business side of the EPX400 transmitter, advantages and added value of the product, and generally about the business side of and added value for monitoring stations and implement itself. And the second part, Maciek Bain from technical support will join us and we'll run the live session with EPX400 and an external control panel working together with EBS security application and telling more about the hardware and software whole EBS ecosystem.
Thank you, Shimon. Again, we would like to encourage you to ask questions during the presentation. We will be collecting them and answer them and email those answers to you as well. So to start with, these are some of the EBSP clients from different parts of the world. What we are presenting to you are mostly security agencies with monitoring stations. So these are some of the companies who are using different portfolios of EBS, not only transmitters. Some are
control panels and GPS
and
personal monitoring devices.
Exactly. Some of them are also, of course, using ActiveGuard, ActiveTrack. And of course, many of them are using all of our portfolio. So I would like to start this presentation about EPX400 by introducing also EBS transmitters as a whole family. So as you already know, EBS actually have different variations of transmitters. EPX400 is only one of them, but we also have the LX family, the Wi-Fi family. We also have the PX. So we have different kinds that only have GSM GPRS. We have Wi-Fi only. And what we're discussing today is EPX400 as a dual transmitter. In addition to that, EBS transmitters is actually one of the core strengths in technology of our company. We started in this business in 1999, which makes us experienced in this technology for over 20 years already. We started even before the big manufacturers of alarm panels were looking into this technology. So this brings us value in terms of our specialization. Shimon, do you remember how many transmitters are in the field? I think it's about 3 million already by now in the field.
Yeah, in the field, yes, about 3 million working devices.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So in addition to that, we pride ourselves with providing very high quality transmitters. And in addition to that, the ones that we will be showing you are more specific for alarm monitoring industry. Not only that, we will also be emphasizing that EPX400 and all EBS transmitters are universal devices. So it means that these things are working independently or integrated with different brands. So you are not tied to one brand application.
Exactly. Talking about benefits of using our transmitters, there are many advantages we can share with you. Talking about data security, it's worth to mention that EPX400 XC transmitter with downloading function is graded, where they which is really important, and cost saving of EBS transmitters. Which is also important for monitoring stations and using SIM cards, that the data consumption in transmitter is between 5 and 10 mega. As Marian said previously, a lot of our devices are working on the field for 10 years, which means that a lot of customers have trusted us. What is also important to mention is easy integration with other systems, with other softwares of monitoring stations. Our transmitter works with OSM middleware, and which sends encrypted protocols data to monitoring stations using different protocols. Maciek will tell you later. But as was previously said, a lot of monitoring stations use our transmitter due to redundancy and possibilities of work with different softwares, which is based on easy integration.
Yeah, I think what we can add to this is that when you look at EBS transmitters, you will see how focused we are on providing the solution that is good for monitoring. Data security, cost-effective applications, strong signals. So it is really designed for you guys who are developing and maintaining monitoring in your countries. So now we are going to be more specific. We described the EBS transmitter as a family, and now we're going to EPX400. First of all, EPX400 is a universal communicator, transmitter, or receiver. As you can see here, we included 3 different names, primarily because in different countries, it's called something different. I think in my market in Asia, most of my clients are calling this as a communicator. In Europe, it's more like...
In UK, for example, it's receiver. So sometimes I have to tell it's transmitter, communicator, and receiver.
Yes, exactly. In Poland, it's called the transmitter. For different data sending, actually transmitter, of course, in our industry right now, is mostly used for the alarm panels, right? Sending alarm signals. But it's not only for that one. It's universal also in terms that it could send data, for example, for inventory, water level, electricity level. So these are just some of the data that these communicators are sending in various applications. In addition to that, what is special about EPX400 is its dual path. Yeah, so it has both the IP via Ethernet and GSM GPRS. This is very ideal, especially if you need a backup system, which is very common, for example, in the banks, applications like ATM as well. In addition to that, EPX400 is a device or solution that allows you to manage and maintain systems remotely. The most common application I told you earlier, which are the alarm panels. EPX400 allows you to not only arm and disarm, but even manage the outputs and even configuration of the other alarm panels themselves. Later on, we will go deeper into that, how we are able to change configuration of other alarm panels. In addition, I would say that EPX400 as a solution is used commonly as well for backup communication. So for example, there's already an existing system in place, but they want higher security in terms of data transmission. This is also the product that we use. In other situations, EPX400 is also used as a simple alarm panel, right? So if it's a site that you don't need to have a keypad, it's only an object like a transformer, then you connect like
wired sensors.
Exactly. If you connect wired sensors, then it's working as a simple alarm panel. Shimon, what are the different variations of EPX400? Because there's a lot, right?
Yeah, there is a lot, and in our family of these transmitters, we have 6 of them. As we said previously, the EC family with C at the end means that the control panel have possibility of to download the session of existing old control panel, which is a unique feature, and Maciek will tell you later about it. How does it work? Other transmitters are like 50, 60 are working and different networks. Starting from 50, 2G transmitters, 2G transmitter is working in that network. 60 is able to work in 3G network and supports 2G network. Yeah. A10 transmitter is provided to support network in Europe, and A20 for US market. Which means that the modem on the hardware is a little bit different to support network in US market and also Latin American countries, in some countries.
Exactly. This is important for us to have different variations and different bands because we are working with over 60 countries around the world. So we have to tailor, because some markets only use 2G, some markets need 3G, and some are working on LTE. What is important is that we are providing what is essential for you and practical working in your environment. So
moving forward,
yeah.
Trends in application and general value of EPX400 for your monitoring business. Mariam, floor is yours.
Thank you. So we would like to share with you some of the findings that we have according to the directions of the monitoring business, primarily on the alarm sector. These are trends and data we collected not only from our clients and experience, but also from the IHS, which is working with us closely. So traditional monitoring would not be developed further. This is according to IHS report, primarily because right now there's a very big trend that we are moving towards IoT solutions and connected security.
What does it mean? It's that PSTN lines will be not developed further, right?
Exactly. So according to the data that we have gathered, PSTN lines would probably be working like before, but new deployments will not be PSTN.
Yeah, of course.
Or what would happen is that the PSTN installations would be upgraded. So this is actually where EPX400 and EBS transmitters comes in, because we are feeling a gap in the market that clients don't have to invest as much to upgrade the technology, to move forward from traditional to the current and advanced monitoring solution. So we are in line in this one. Yeah. So what does it mean, Shimon? Systems and online services will be developing.
As you said, is that the PSTN lines will be not developed further, and annual revenue per user is changing due to using of mobile application, which is added value for end users.
What does APRU mean again?
It's annual revenue per unit.
Okay, so it means that because people are moving towards connected security, then actually a lot of monitoring stations charges an extra for each system that is connected to a mobile application. So what you're saying is this is additional revenue for the monitoring businesses because it's additional services, right? Correct. Okay.
Giving you life for all control panels, which are already working in GSM, right?
Makes a lot of sense. And of course, we have the statistics that the monitoring industry, growing because of the online services, and it's going to be 16% per annum. We also have data that shows that about 100% of the monitoring companies would be, let's say, online by 2025, right? So that's 5 years from now. Right now, I see still a lot of transition. Do you still see that a lot of transition in your market?
Yeah, it's still needed because there are still a lot of PSTN lines which has to be upgraded.
Yeah.
Till 2025, maybe a little bit further, but yeah.
Yeah. Of course, it's different per market, right? But this is like overall.
Each market is different.
Exactly. Thank you. Now, we would like to show with you comparative analysis. What is also the logic why people are moving forward from PSTN to over the internet communication? So the first point that we have here is cost of communication. In different countries, there are different structure of charges to calls. In smaller countries, there is only one flat rate. But you have to consider that markets like Philippines, which is an archipelago, or even US, they have long distance charges. And if you are in a monitoring station, each long distance charge is per call.
Only per call.
It's per call. So for example, in Philippines, one call is like, I think, 8 pesos. But if you are doing GSM GPRS, the cost is lower. Constant communication plus it's a fixed amount because we are only counting the data usage. And you have to remember that EBS transmitter is only using 5 to 10 MB per month. It's very low, right? It's very low. Exactly. Exactly. So a lot of monitoring stations prefer right now to focus on developing on the GSM GPRS or IP because it's cheaper way. And also in addition, the remote management access is much more advanced and much more practical, which brings in the value of cost saving benefit to an online communication, right? What happens when it's remote management? You don't have to dispatch people on the field. You would need less people in your team. And of course, it's the time, right? Because time is money. You have to convert time to money. The other important factor why people are moving forward to the over the internet transmission is because of the event logs and history in the monitoring industry.
Yeah.
If you are using the traditional panel, they only send alarm signals and test connection.
Yeah.
Which is like maybe 3 events per day. If there would be an emergency, Shimon, what happens is that the monitoring company, if there was an intrusion, will have to collect this data from the panel itself. So again, you have to send dispatch, collect data from the panel itself. But if you are implementing over the internet technology, which allows you to have constant data, collect every data in your monitoring station right away in real time, you have no need to go send dispatch to collect these logs that is stored in the panel because it's real-time transmitting to your software already. In addition to that, you know what happens when it's a PSTN panel? Do you know how often they send the test connectivity? Usually, they're sending it every 8 hours to 72 hours, depending on the country, because of course it's cost for them. But if you are using GSM GPRS, you're doing it like every 20 seconds to 5 minutes. You know?
Really often.
Yeah, it's really often, and you're more secure and at peace that you are online, that your system is connected and working. So it's validation to a good working system. And at the end of it all, what you can see here is the monthly cost of communication, which I took in the context of the Philippine market, right? In the Philippine market, the monthly cost of communication, according to the monitoring stations that I've talked to, each object, each panel in PSTN panel is actually charged $18 to $40 a month. That's even more expensive than the monitoring fee.
It's really
a
big amount of money.
And of course, who's shouldering this? The clients. But if we go and compare it with the communication cost of the SIM card, if it's GSM GPRS, it's only $2 to $4. Can you imagine the big savings? And then you get more from the technology. So this is why the trend is going to this direction, because it makes a lot of sense, right? Okay, Shimon, can you show us
where the money comes?
Yeah, where the money comes from? What are the applications of EPX400?
There are plenty of applications, as we actually previously said. Of course, is ATM machine monitoring when we even used our transmitters with ATM machines in Poland, where our transmitter is used with wire sensor put inside the cashing machine. Town shop, retail shops, or monitoring of transformers, slot machines. And of course, the main application and the biggest market for EPX400 application is IP and GPRS, where upgrade is needed, where upgrade from PSTA into GSM and GPRS connection for big scale monitoring, right? When the high level of security is needed, EPX400 is a perfect match for bank branches and nationwide scale implementations. So the transmitter can be used in many different variations, giving full secure for a connection and an alarm even sent.
Yeah, and the good thing is EPX400, it's flexible. You can either have IP as primary or GSM ZPRS as primary.
As a backup.
Yeah, so it's really up to you. Now we would like to share with you additional stream revenue when it comes to having an EPX400 or an EBS transmitter.
Mm-hmm. Using the application,
yes,
because it's working the same way. Additional revenue for the ecosystem using hardware and software as the EBS security application gives us possibility to arm disarm objects from the smartphone, and the application is really user friendly. Moreover, it gives possibility to control outputs, as you previously said, which would be important also for monitoring station and an installer even, not only for end user. It's history log and history of previous events, right? Yeah. List of all sites, and which is also important for application can to the application we can add different kind of devices, not only one EPX400 but few of them.
Because the thing is, if you have the traditional alarm panel, there you cannot have a mobile application, right? But bringing in the transmitter like EPX400 into the picture allows you to have mobile application access that you can also provide to your clients and charge them, like for example, extra, I don't know, $5–10. And in addition to that, it's not only EBS security, actually, Shimon. You remember in our last conference last year, one of our partners presented that they also have their own application.
Of course.
Right? They developed their own, and what they did is because they are using EBS transmitters, they customized and made the integration between EBS system to their own smart application. And then they kept it as a business model that they're still charging. So it's also customized for them, customized for their clients, but still it was possible because they were using EBS transmitter. Yeah, it's one. I like this presentation. Yeah. So this is just some information and ideas for you how you could use our system to earn more. In addition, it's a lot of monitoring possibility, not only about the security and not only about this application. There are other avenues where you can, play around this business models if you have online services, additional value for your clients. So I think right now,
by the way, how many languages is an application? It's 12.
Okay, I'm always thinking for language. It's 12 languages.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Let's move forward. Okay. Now we will have a short break, like 5 minutes, and the next part of the presentation will be held by our colleague from technical support, Maciej Bain. And yeah, let's have a 5 minutes of break, and then we'll be back to the technical part of the presentation and connection of our transmitter to the old control panel in real time using EBS security application.
Yeah, so grab your coffee, refill your water, or go to the toilet. You can also use this time to type in your questions. So we'll see you in 5 minutes.
All right, so as Marian and Shimon said, a few more minutes and we're going to start with the technical part of the presentation. So see you in two more minutes.
I hope you're back in front of your phone or computers. Again, thank you for joining us today. And finally, we are very excited to have Maciek to discuss to us EPX400 in a technical perspective. Maciek, take the floor.
Yes. All right. So thank you once again for having me. That was a great introduction to the business side of our solution by Marian and Shimon. And now me as a part of the technical department team, I would like to introduce you to some technical aspect, the technical perspective of the EPX400 transmitter. But don't be worried, it won't be boring, I hope. I prepared to you today an example of use, how to connect an EPX400 to an external panel, and I'm going to show you in real life, in real time, how to use our applications both for the installers and for the end users, and how easy it is in reality operating with our transmitter. All right, so let's get going. EBS solution comes with hardware and software, and really put really big importance to this fact, because here in EBS we do not only sell hardware, we also provide it with complementary software.
Maciek, I think you're frozen.
We cannot see you, we cannot hear you, Maciek.
You're not moving. Okay, so I think there's some technical glitch. Give us 1 minute. Hi, everybody. Seems like Maciek had some technical glitch on his side, but as he is trying to go back, can I ask everyone to raise your hand if you can still hear us and see us?
Yes, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Now you're back.
Now you're back.
Yeah, sorry for that.
Okay.
Must have been my internet connection, but now I'm back.
A lot of
Alright.
people is working online right now, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's happening.
All right, so let us continue with the presentation. Now everything is okay. Can you guys confirm that you can see me, hear me, and see the presentation?
Please raise your hand if you can see Maciek and hear him.
All right, I see some hands being raised.
Thank
That's a
you.
good
Thank you,
sign.
Carlo. Thank you, Alejandro. Thank you,
Thank you.
Ahmad. Okay, so you're good
Thank
to
you
go.
for that, and sorry for that little inconvenience. All right, so talking about the EBS business solution, the whole EBS complete ecosystem. Here at EBS, we do not only provide the hardware, but also it comes with its complementary software. What does it mean? That each and every of our devices connects itself to the OSM server and middleware, which allows you to receive signals and pass them to your application or monitoring software, but also with dedicated applications both for end users and installers. It makes it much easier operating with our hardware and adds additional functionalities. So in reality, to sum up this slide, we really have to look at our solutions as a whole ecosystem, hardware plus software. But all right, let's first talk about the hardware concept of EPX400. Here on the screen is presented a main board of the device. In the basic version, it comes with integrated 2G or 2G plus 3G module, as Shimon was presenting in the table earlier. With the plate, we offer you, with the main board, we offer you 3 transmission channels. First of them being the Ethernet, the IP connection. Second being GPRS and SMS, and the communication channel of PSTN, the phone line. If it comes to the available inputs on the board, there are 9 inputs already available for you. Of course, all of them are configurable. So with the normally open, and even EOL or DOL configuration, they work without any kind of problem. The board offers 3 outputs, 2 of them being regular open collector output and 1 relay output. Naturally, you can control them and configure them to react depending on status of the inputs. You can control them via the mobile application, which I'm going to show later, and you can control them via, for example, SMS command. EPX400 comes also with the onboard power supply, which means that it can be powered independently from the control panel that it is connected to, or basically work as an independent device. What it also offers is the detection of the weak GSM signals and anti-jamming function. Automatically, when the device detects a weak level of signal, it sends an alarm event to the monitoring station via the OSM server, and all of the events are being internally stored in the internal memory of the device. And if it comes to the PSTN line, it comes with overvoltage protection. What is optional and up to you to choose is the possibility of adding radio frequency on board, which allows us to add remote controllers to the main board, and the dual SIM option. As you can see, there's an empty slot on the main board, which allows us to put a second SIM card as an additional backup channel. All right, and now this hardware concept comes with some key features and which allows us to use the device properly and to have advantages of using them. And I know that I'm going to repeat what Marian and Shimon already said, but I really believe that it is worth mentioning twice or even more times that with the EPX400, you can save both time and costs, thanks to the simple and fast configuration, which I'm going to be showing live in real time soon. The possibility of diagnostic mode for installers, which make their work really easy to simply check after the work that is done if the device is working properly, if all of the configuration is safe and device connected to the server. And of course, the reliability of information and the safety and quality of transmission. Naturally, the EPX400 can understand the most important communication protocols that are being used in the security industry all over the world, them being contact ID protocol, SIA protocol. What also it provides is the AES encrypted transmission to the monitoring station via the OSM server. So all of the information is safe. The built-in watchdog functionality together with internal memory storage provides us with feeling of safety if it comes to the information that will never be lost, because even if for whatever reason the EPX400 loses the connection to the server, it will start storing all of the events in its internal memory, and then thanks to the watchdog functionality, after a given time, for example 10 minutes without connection, it will reset the modem and start connecting again and pass all of the information stored in the memory. So none of the information would ever be lost. And the huge advantage, the application EBS security, which really gives a lot of new possibilities of use of the transmitter. All right, and a little bit more about the technical aspects of the application and what we can do with it if it comes to connection with EPX400. As already mentioned by Marian and Shimon, in application we can have a various amount of objects secured and monitored in the application. So it is not a restriction that one user can use only manage one object. No, he can use and manage various and many objects. The application, of course, supports all of the types of the transmitters, not only the EPX400, but from the other lines, from the LX line and from the PX line, and our control panels, with the newest being Ava Pro, but also with the previous Callisto line. All right, but if it comes to functionalities connected to EPX400, thanks to the possibility of sending remote commands to the device, we are able to arm and disarm external control panels. And I really like the phrase giving a second life to existing control panels, because we can imagine a situation that a user already has in his house for 5 or 8 years a control panel installed, but the only way to arm it or disarm it is via the keypad or the remote controller. And thanks to adding our transmitter and with a really simple connections via the cables, we are able to achieve a possibility of arming and disarming this old existing control panel via mobile application, which is a huge advantage and huge additional value if it comes to operating with this control panel. Naturally, as I said, with the 3 programmable outputs, the EBS security application also allows us to control them. So we can imagine situation of connecting a lamp or electronic doors via a relay to our transmitter, and via application we can, by one click on one button in the application, which we can turn them on or off. Naturally, with the security of information and the encrypted information sending, we also receive all of the events in the application, and we can see them in the history. Naturally, with the functionality of push notifications, if there are any alarm events, our phone will notify us immediately about it. And if it comes to application itself, it is really easy customizable. So we can change, for example, the object name in order to distinguish it from the others. We can add a photo of an object, for example, our house, in order to distinguish it from the other objects. And we can change the names of zones. So it would be really much easier this way for an end user to use the application. All right, and now let's switch to the other part of using the device. And first of all, logically, we have to configure it. So let's talk about application dedicated to the installers. First of all, with all of our devices, we provide, as with all types of devices manufactured by EBS, we offer you various possibilities if it comes to programming them. So first possibility is via the EBS config desktop application, desktop version, which you download to any type of PC, and you are able to program the device via programming cable, via the Bluetooth programmator, or via GPRS connection. So you have 3 ways of programming it, but it doesn't end there. With the EBS install T, where T stands for transmitters, a mobile application, we give the possibility of installers to use the Bluetooth programmator, and by quick connection without any cable or any computer needed, he can program the transmitters via his mobile phone. So he only needs one Bluetooth programmator, his mobile phone, and he's ready to go to program the device. And now I would like to show you how easy it is for installer to work with our transmitters and EPX400. There are 3 easy steps for quick installation. First of all, you have to download the EBS Install T application. It is available in the Google Play Store. Just type in the EBS Install T, download the application, install it, and you are ready to go. Then with the Mini Proc BT, the Bluetooth programmator, which I'm showing right now to my camera, it is a really small, handy configurator, looks similar to an USB storage. You connect it to the device, pair it with your mobile phone, and you are ready to go to use the mobile application to send pre-configured configuration from the list to your EPX400 transmitters. So in reality, if an installer has many installations, installs the EPX400 transmitter various times to various customers, he can have a pre-configuration prepared, and with every installation in less than 10 minutes, only connecting the Mini Proc programmator to the device and programming it via the application. As I said, in less than 10 minutes, he can have his panel ready to work with our transmitter. All right, what mentioned Marian and Shimon earlier in the presentation is the downloading functionality, which offers the EPX400 6C version. What is the downloading and uploading functionality? Or in other words, the bidirectional communication possibility. Thanks to the firmware version and dedicated software, EPX400 6C is capable of programming external panels. Yes, you heard me right. I don't refer to only arming and disarming the panels or receiving the information via the PSTN line. I'm talking about remote configuration of the control panel itself. Thanks to the PSTN line connections and dedicated software, EPX400 can imitate a telephone modem and fool the control panel to think that it is connected via this modem to the proper software. Thanks to that, we are able to access the control panel's configuration and change it totally remotely. So once again, a repetition, but worth mentioning, time and cost savings. We do not have to send a technician in order to reprogram the control panel. He just sitting at his office, at his desk, only programs the panel in really no amount of time, totally remotely. Naturally, in EBS, we prepared various manuals for our customers with step-by-step explanation of how to configure the device, how to set up the dedicated software in order to work for it. And here on the slide, you can see a list of the devices that are compatible with this functionality, but it is really worth mentioning that the list is in reality much broader, because this is a list of the panels only tested and verified here at EBS. But personally, from my experience, I can say with the contact with various of our clients that the list is much broader. This functionality also works with other types of control panels. All right, so now I believe that it would be time for me to show you some real-life examples, what I mentioned earlier. First of all, of how easy it is to program the EPX400 transmitter, and second of all, how easy it is to use the mobile application. All right, so could you guys confirm me that you can still hear me, Shimon and Marian, that you can see me?
We see your handsome face, Magic.
Oh, I didn't have to do it. All right. So here with me, I prepared two examples of the device. First of them being an EPX400 connected to the DSC control panel. So it looks like this. This is our demo version. So it is on all set up on one board. But here, the other example that I'm going to show you now is an example of EPX400 connected to a Paradox control panel already installed in the casing. So as you can see, only with 5 connecting cables, we are able to achieve 3 things: receive the information from the panel via the PSTN line, arm and disarm it remotely via the EBS security application, and thirdly, we are able to remotely program the Paradox control panel. All right. So now let me quickly grab the mini programmator. I'm going to stick it into the EPX400. And now, thanks to the screen mirroring functionality of my phone, I'm going to show you the application. All right, let me close it. As I said, the application is called EBS Install T. Here I already downloaded it, so I have it installed in my phone. I'm opening it, and it greets me with the first screen. And after I put in my access PIN, I'm able to connect with the mini programmator. Here, the icon of the Bluetooth with the green color informs me that my Bluetooth programmator is already paired with my mobile phone, and I'm ready to go with the configuration. And as I said, it is really easy for the installers to use this application, and it is really it takes not more than 10 minutes to program new devices. Guys, just a simple confirmation if you can still see me and see the screen. Marian, Shimon?
Everything is working spick and span. Great.
Perfectly. All right, so as it was in the presentation, here I have completed 2 steps. First of all, I obtained the EBS install T application and I paired my mini proc programmator with my phone. It is already connected to the EPX400. So now the last step is the configuration. So here the configuration options, as I said, appears a list of pre-configurations. Naturally, a user of this application can create his own configuration, but here I prepared earlier a configuration. As I said, it was created today. Of course, I can check all of the parameters here. For example, let me make sure that the communication parameters are intact, are okay. I'm going to use today the GPRS communication channel. I'm checking if the server IP and server port are correct. All right, everything seems to be okay. I'm going back with the options, and now it takes nothing more than to send the configuration to the device. After providing it with proper installation code, I am able to send the configuration to the device. So as you could see, even me presenting it and describing everything to you, it took me less than 5 minutes to connect the mini proc programmator and to program the device with a pre-configured configuration with the pre-configured data. Isn't it really awesome and easy way for the installers to work? I believe so. All right, what we described in the presentation earlier is the possibility of for the installers to check if the work that they've done is really a correct job. So here in the monitoring center, we can see the state of the device. We can see that my device currently is only working on battery and it is disconnected from the server because I was programming it. But now in the logs option, in the real time, I can see all of what's happening with the device. So I can see that it is starting registration to the GSM network, that the SIM card is okay in the device. If I, for example, right now would on the panel, the Paradox control panel, it will appear also here that a new informations are being sent via the PSTN line. As I said, as right now I can see that the input on was turned on, which means that the partition 1 in Paradox control panel was armed. In the real time, the installer can confirm his work. So it is a really great tool for him to just check if everything that he's done is correct. Let us now just quickly check the other options of the application. Now I can in real time check the GSM signal. Here it is 83, so it is a very good signal. I can see that the states of both of the transmission programmed in the device. I can check what is the firmware version. Of course, in our website, there is always available the newest firmware version for each type of the device. So if I spot that the firmware version is out of date, I can naturally update it via dedicated option from the application. Here by the firmware option, I can select a firmware file here on my phone. Right now I'm not going to do it because I like the version of the firmware that is currently in, but if it's necessary, naturally I can program my device with the correct firmware, and of course the possibilities of checking the events history to just quickly check what was happening lately with the device, what was being stored in the internal storage. All right, so let us check the monitoring status. Right now I can see that the server is already connected. I can confirm it here in the logs. I can see that by the GPRS connection, the device is already reporting everything that has happened to it. So I'm ready to go with the second application, with the EBS security mobile application for the end user. All right, so let me quickly open the application. It is also available in the Google Play or in the iPhone store as simply type in the EBS security, and here is the main screen of the application. So after putting in my personalized PIN code that I'm obtaining during the registration to the application, I'm signing in and I'm seeing the list of my monitored objects. As we were talking in the presentation, I'm not limited only to the one object. I'm able to control various objects with various types, being transmitters, control panels. So here I have, as I showed you, 2 objects prepared. Right now I'm going to control the paradox control panel. Here I can already see its state. As you remembered, I armed it by keypad, so it is right now showing me the state of the control panel that is armed with a nice lock icon with the red color, so it's really easy to tell if the panel is armed or disarmed. And with by one click of the button, I can send a remote command to the panel, to the transmitter, in order to disarm it, and yeah, to just quickly disarm it. And after the time of going out from the system will be done, I will see the state that the panel is now disarmed. All right, what I said earlier is the possibility of checking the history of the control panel or history of the events from the transmitter. So here I can see that I had low battery earlier, for example, that I was arming and disarming the system, that the output was being turned on. All of the information is not being lost. Okay, now with the customization part, if it comes to the object settings, as I said, they are really easy customizable. So for example, if I want to change the name of the object, for example, EBS webinar to my company, I can put a photo of this object. In my case, it's just the main boards connected and put into the case, but it can be a photo of your house, of your company's building. I can put all of the details regarding the fact where is the device installed, and I can quickly change the inputs and outputs names, so I can distinguish them more easily. For example, I'm going to put here the input, maybe input 6, main door. So I will know that this no money door, sorry, main door, that this zone refers to the sensor that is connected with the main door. The possibility of changing the names for the outputs. For example, I know that the second output will be connected to some lamp. I can then send a remote command to just turn the lamp on and off. After saving the data, they will appear here. First of all, the EBS webinar with my company name, and yeah.
Maciek, I have a question. Can you go back to the site? Click the site.
Yes, of course.
On the EBS security application.
Yeah, like for example, this one. Go to, for example, EBS webinar 2, my company.
Yep.
I see here a very interesting thing that is quite new. And I would like to ask, what is this new icon which says plus eagle eye add account?
Oh, that's a very nice question. Thank you for your curiosity. That is because I'm currently using a developer version of the application, because in fact we are preparing integration with IP cameras that we will integrate with our mobile application. So not only you will be able to control the state of your devices manufactured by EBS, but you will also be able to see the real-time videos of IP cameras integrated into the application. Thank you for the question, Marian.
Thank you. That's exciting.
Thank you for answer. It's good to know.
All right. So if it comes to the real-life examples of using the both EBS Install T and EBS security application, that would be all from my part. Naturally, I'm open to any kind of questions after we finalize our presentation. And now I'm giving the voice back to Szymon and Marian.
Maciek, thank you again for really good technical presentation. We hope that it was really helpful to our customers. There are many good information, and thank you again for taking part of it. At the end of presentation, we would like to add upcoming features of EPX400 XC transmitters, which is the new one with downloading feature. In the nearest future, downloading transmitter will have possibility to make the session over IP, which means not only GPRS but only IP connection. It will be available on LTE and 4G network, and at the end of this year we'll develop CADC09 protocol, which is important information for many markets of the world, not only my markets, European markets, but I think that Marian also some of your customers.
Awesome. So this is particular to the EPX400 something C. So it could be 60C, 50C, or the LTE version. I have a question for you, Maciek. During this presentation, did you get questions from our partners who is attending?
Yes, I believe I did. So yes, I can see the list of the questions. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, so I encourage everybody to write your questions to us for clarification. We will answer all of those questions and send everything to you in the email. At the same time, right now, actually, I would ask Maciek, maybe you could answer a few questions that would be interesting for everyone.
You can pick 3 main questions, most difficult ones, and
okay, so I believe that I see some really interesting questions regarding my part. So first of them being, can we connect remotely to Paradox control panel using the Paradox programming software? If yes, the connection option need to be selected as modem. The asker is Prem A. Thank you for that question. Naturally, we can connect to it remotely. It is an example which I showed. Thanks to the Paradox Babyware software, we are able to connect via the EPX400 XC transmitter to the Paradox control panel. And yes, as you asked, the connection option would be modem. Of course, as I said, with the manuals prepared by us, I really believe that it would be very easy for you to obtain that functionality. All right. Let us look for some other questions. when you arm via the application, what user number will it use? That's a really good question. When we are arming via the application, we are actually using the key switch zone in the control panel. So we are arming the panel via the key switch entrance, the key switch input. So depending on the control panel type, it comes with the user number 0, user number 255. It's really depending on the control panel's type, but in reality, we are arming it via the key switch zone. Does all EPX400 have the Bluetooth functionality enabled? Yes, in all of them you can connect the mini-proc Bluetooth programmator in order to program them or to monitor their state in real time.
Thank you, Maciek.
Okay, I think for now that's
We can
okay.
move forward.
And the rest of the questions will be answered. We will email it to you, to everyone. I think we just have to summarize key points of EPX400 and EPS transmitters now, and later we will have a sweet surprise at the end. So I think what I could say and what I would encourage you to remember is that what we're providing to you is a universal solution that allows monitoring companies to use same product for many different brands. Because in the monitoring station, there are usually, let's say they have 2-3 brands of alarm panels. And with EPX400, you only have to have EBS universal solution. You don't have to focus on, I'm using a Paradox, I only can use Paradox. And then I have DSC as well, and then I have Honeywell. So with EBS, all of those brands we can work with, for example. So, and of course, the cost-saving solution, I take that as a very important component of this solution, and as well as we are moving forward to a connected security, where it's a higher level and also more advanced. What about you? What do you take from this?
I think that, yeah, possibility of upgrading old control panel is a moment. And as you said, having a possibility to use only one device with different brands of control panels, with additional with the loading function, which gives new life for old control panels. And I think that a lot of customers which are still using control panel over PSTN lines would love to have application as simple as it is.
Agree. How about you, Maciek?
Yeah, I believe that both the possibility of having the control over external control panel in a way that we can arm and disarm it, but also if we want to change something really quickly in our system, for example, a delay for entrance to our house, we can do it not only by programming it via keypad, which can be problematic at times, but simply by accessing it via dedicated software, via the bidirectional functionality. It's really something unique and something that's really, really helpful.
Yeah, I think like it's also worth mentioning because you said it could be problematic to go to a house to reprogram it. This is very timely with our current situation. We are currently facing COVID-19, and there's a lot of restriction to sending installers. It's our current, let's say, situation. And if you have already implemented EBS transmitters with the remote functions of changing configuration, this is a very perfect solution for you. I also want to emphasize that this COVID situation could last, I don't know how long.
We hope that it won't last long.
But if you would have the option to be able to install this technology to your panels, we encourage you to do it, because at the end this will bring you a lot of value and it will allow you to serve your customers even during this time. Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yes. Okay. So next one will be our sweet surprise, right?
All right.
Okay. So currently, we are launching a promotion starting today about EPX400. There are two main components on that we will provide as additional value for you. First of all, Shimon, redelivery. Why? Like,
For 100 pieces, yeah, or it could be even more. Pre-delivery starting from 100 pieces, and with every 25 devices, we adding free one mini probe device for your installers.
Yeah, so the mini probe comes for the installation, so like what Maciek showed you earlier for the EBS install key. If you're doing installation in this method, it's gonna be much faster. That's why we assure you. So
Exactly.
we would like to encourage everybody here attending the webinar to contact your sales manager to avail this promotion.
And maybe additional discounts.
You can ask, you can always ask, and get in contact with them, ask questions. If you need more presentations or backup information, contact your sales manager. In addition, if you need support for integration or any technical support, please send an email to support@ebssmart.com. Maciek and his team is at your disposal. If you would like to start testing and you have not used this device before, this is a very good time to start.
This possibility to pre-configure the device,
Yes.
connect to our OSM server, and send it to you to use it as a plug-and-play solution for the first time, and
Yes.
to have it full technical support on the at the beginning of usage, right? And moreover, we encourage you to fill the survey, which will appear at the end of our presentation. Once again, we would like to thank you for participation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Maciek, and
thank you, guys, and thanks for everyone for attention.
Yeah.
Take care and stay safe.
Stay healthy, stay online. We'll be in touch. We will be sending you additional invitations for our future webinars. So have a nice day, everyone.
Bye.
Have a nice weekend.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.